This is the Sim Pit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you guys and girls, my good sim racing friends, are all here to talk about sim racing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the real star of today's show, because without you, there'd be no point in talking about sim racing. Can you imagine if I just did this show and none of you showed up? How incredibly boring that would be for me. I'm here to talk about sim racing. I'm here to engage with you about sim racing, not just here to spew the news. So thank you for making it so worthwhile being here each and every day doing this. So what is going on in sim racing? Any thoughts by anybody after that, what we talked about yesterday with that whole brake grabbing? I understand that guy put out a formal apology, no surprise there. I understand that his ride canceled the contract with him, so there have been repercussions of those actions. So, Dan DiMaggio says, can we do a Simpit convoy on ATS? That is actually something we've talked about doing. It just, nobody's pulled the trigger. We haven't made those final arrangements to make it happen, but that sounds like it would be a lot of fun. Yeah, Rossi, when he kicked Marquez, I remember that, but that wasn't nearly the same level as grabbing somebody's brake lever while at full speed. Anyway, so what is going on in sim racing? I don't think I remember to tell you guys. We covered the first 3 regions, but did I ever mention the American region? So Forza is doing their monthly on September 10th. That was yesterday. Oh, shit. Whoops. Anyway, America was the final region, which means all the voting happened during the mixer. So what we're going to need to do is find out. Anybody watched the mixer? That was yesterday at 1 p.m. Been telling you guys about it. Yeah, exactly, Dave. We're talking about that. But next Monday, we have different plans. The following Monday, I won't be here. I'll be moving. Perhaps the Monday after we could do something like that. That would be very fun. But here were the final car choices. And however the group voted during their Forza Monthly event yesterday on Mixer and Twitch, USA won. Okay, there you go. So we have the Vega, the Ford GT, and the Cadillac ATS, if I got my cars correctly. Did I get that right? Let's see here. What were the cars? It was a Ford GT40, sorry, versus a Ford GT, a Chevy Vega. Look at the Vega. I love the Vega. I remember the Vega and the Monza from Ford were 2 cars that I loved as a child. Anyway, so there you go. USA won. These are the 4 cars that are being added into the specialty dealer from Forza. And this is a plug for that event. We already talked about the music and car list in Forza Horizon 4. And then this is also another promo for yesterday's mixer, something about the Warthog. Whoop-de-doo. I'm not real. Anybody who's a Forza people, do you actually drive the Warthog? I think in Forza 5, was it, or 6? I did get the Warthog, and I don't think I ever turned a single lap in it. Anyway, Gran Turismo, they have a highlight video of the Nations Cup race. So we talked about all that racing going on. If you just want something to watch, if you're at work and you're bored out of your mind and just need something sim racing related, it was a pretty cutthroat battle as usual. And looks like the top 4 kind of broke away. Oh, the leader just completely broke away. And then you had a battle between the Frenchies in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Vega and Monza Chevy. Oh, thank you. That's why it looks so much like that. It's the exact same body shape. That makes more sense. Thank you, Rick. I just know him by the Hot Wheel cars that I had. That's all I knew at the time. Gran Turismo, and that's all we had to talk about. Gran Turismo, nothing big there. Formula 1, not sim racing related. Did you guys hear? I mean, in the article here at F1, they're talking Charles Leclerc is at Scuderia Ferrari. Sure, that's a big story. But isn't it a little bit bigger a story that Kimi Räikkönen has stepped down and he's going to be moving over to the Sauber? Isn't that what I read? Sauber. I'm going by Sean's terrible morning memory. I think he's going to the Sauber team, and Leclerc is stepping into his ride and will be Vettel's teammate. Yeah, Sauber F1. Anyway, there's also a hot lap by Leclerc. So as the Formula 1 game has been doing all season long, they are taking the real-life drivers, getting them to run F1 2018 in, in a simulator, and show off what it's like to do a lap at Monaco. This is one of the tracks I've actually turned quite a few laps at in F1 2018. I did most of it in the vintage cars. Yeah, that's a big deal. That is really a big deal. You know, every once in a while in Formula One, a driver makes a switch right at the right time. If you followed Lewis Hamilton's career, his ability to switch teams at the exact right moment so that he, as a top-level driver, never missed a beat. He's done remarkably at doing that. Maybe Kimi knows something. Maybe Leclerc knows something. Who knows? We'll have to wait till next year to find out. But, yeah, it does sound like a little bit of a downgrade to me. Why do they use not? You know, that's a really great question. Dan, I'm going to guess it has something to do with their ability to time things. Maybe from the cockpit view, they're not getting the view they want, allowing them to hit apexes in order for the... And here's the other thing. Oh, come on. Poor Leclerc. Just imagine... Not poor... Poor all those. Can you imagine if you're a real-life Formula One driver and probably for contractual reasons, you're told, hey, it's your turn. You got to go over to the Codies booth. You got to put in a hot lap and do a lap for them. It's part of your obligation as a driver of the F1 Series. FIA contract says you got to do so. Well, can you imagine how heavily they'll be critiqued? How heavily they'll be watched on their driving line, their lap time, everything about what they're doing? I mean, because wouldn't all of us just love to be like, oh, look, Leclerc sucks. Look, he's not even using all the track. Oh, my God. So I think there's a lot of pressure on these guys to perform, and I think that might be one reason they do that as well. Also, look, they're switching cameras. This could just be a replay issue. Did we see from behind over his shoulder what's he looking at? Have we seen that? I have not seen any of the videos showing what his view while driving is. That might be on purpose. Who knows? Anyway, if you want to check that out, you can find out Charles Leclerc's line around Monaco. Tomorrow, Wednesday the 12th at 6 p.m., they're going to be doing their first Gator Rush live stream. So, live from the Ivy Tower, the Crew 2. So, they're going to be doing another just event showing off that new DLC and talking about it. That'll be 6 p.m. tomorrow. GT Planet has an article talking about Polyphony, GT Sport, obviously, and the Iris Ray Tracing System. And this was presented at CDEC 2018. Don't know what CDEC is. CDEC is Computer Entertainment Developers Conference, CDEC, in Tokyo. And they're revealing the way the lighting is done in the PS4 and GT Sport. And they actually went on somewhere, and I think it was a different article going on to say, well, maybe now we're seeing why we're not seeing weather transitions in GT Sport. Perhaps it has something to do with the way their lighting system lights things up. But, I mean, the reason I mention this and why you might even want to read it, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, GT Sport is absolutely one of the most stunning visual games you're going to play. And, therefore, you got to kind of wonder, what do they do different? How do they do it that allows them, especially on the PS4, to crank out those kind of graphics? Next up, so we've talked about it coming, and now it's out. So I have a press release here from Bandai Namco regarding Project Cars presenting the Ferrari Essentials Pack, available now. There is a video on YouTube that you can watch. So if you go to Project Cars 2, or just search for Project Cars 2 Ferrari Essentials Pack DLC trailer, and you can find out their little teaser video. I'm not going to play too much of it because I'll get in big trouble, but let's talk. Ooh, look at that. Talk about what is in this pack. So here we have 8 cars: the Ferrari 250 Testarossa, the Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta from '61, the '78 Ferrari 512, '87 Ferrari F40. Gosh, is there, you know, if there's ever a marquee worth talking about every single car in the car pack, it's got to be Ferrari. Yes, ray tracing is the newest buzzwords. I see them everywhere. Everywhere I look, I totally, and we even have something touching upon that later, if I'm not mistaken, on the NVIDIA front. But the '87 Ferrari F40, the 2001 F355 Challenge. Oh, I love that car. 2015 Ferrari FXX-K. I'm not a big fan of the FXX. What about you guys? I think it's sort of a goofy car. For a Ferrari, I think it's goofy. A 2015 458 Speciale A, another beautiful Ferrari, by the way, as far as modern ones go, and a 2016 Ferrari F12 TDF. And speaking of Ferrari, since we're just on the topic, and like I said, I like to talk on this show. It's not just news, it's conversation, it's talking about cars, racing, simming. Where are you guys on the Ferrari thing? Like, I mean, I love Ferraris, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I really, really love any modern Ferrari. The 458 might be the one. If there's ever a modern Ferrari that I'm like, man, that is a beautiful car. To me, maybe the 458, but man, I really like old Ferraris. That's when they really were just so remarkably beautiful. I mean, now they're incredibly high-tech and amazing, don't get me wrong. But beautiful? No. I mean, a Ferrari 250 Testarossa from 1957 is a work of art. A 1961 250 is a work of art. You start getting into the 2000s, and I'm not sure if you can keep using work of art to define Ferrari. Anyway, that's just a little side thought there. Your guys' thoughts would be appreciated. There is that video. You can check it out and see all the beautiful Ferraris. I'd like to see higher resolution from a Essentials Pack DLC. I mean, this is like, looks like anyone did it. That looks pretty nice, though. Okay, what else we got? New car models are coming out on that 1.06 PC build. So in F1 2018, I guess there have been some updates to the real-life cars, and what they're trying to do is, yeah, the 355 F1 Challenge is a beautiful car for sure. They're trying to update the sim to reflect the exact car models that they're in, that they're using, I should say. So, race department has a write-up on all of the changes. So, but yeah, updated McLaren nose cone, updated Ferrari mirror mountings, updated Force India side pod turning vane geometry, and steering wheel materials. So you can see they're updating the cars to keep them very, very much like the real deal, what we see on TV on Sundays. The 2008 Ferrari F1 car, you think, I don't see, for me, I guess when I look at these modern F1 cars, it's more an engineering marvel than a work of art. There is something artistic about it, because again, you know, functional mechanical engineering is art to me anytime. I mean, if you make something mechanical and it operates, to me that's music. That, like, I'm not a music guy. I like the way parts move, if you just know a little about my makeup. But yep, we all have our different opinions. This is Ollie Pakala, work hard, play hard, and it just made me think, you know, I would love to see, I love seeing pictures of your guys' rigs. And this would require help from somebody or a timed camera on a tripod, but I would love to see a shot of you at your office. What do you look like when you're hard at work sim racing? But this is a downward view of Ollie Pakala, who is on the McLaren eSport F1 team. He is an employee of Fanatec, and kind of surprising to see him use... he's using the wheel they'll be using in the competition, is my guess. That's probably the wheel that's going to be up on stage, and therefore why use something like a Club Sport base or even a podium. But please send in pictures of you hard at work at the office. I would love to see them. Sean at thesimpit.com. I'll put him on the show. I'll make you the star of the show when you get your racing face on. Article at Tech Power Up talking about how the GeForce GTX and the GeForce RTX are to coexist in the product stack until Q1 2019. So, usually when we see in with the new, we see an out with the old mentality when it comes to a lot of computer parts. Seems like for a while we're going to have both. We're going to have the 10 series still out there and available, and I'm not sure if it's just a matter of stock or inventory or technology or pricing. There could be so many factors involved, but it looks like we'll see both products on the market. So when those RTXs come out, don't be afraid that you won't still be able to pick up a 10 series, just to put it in clearer terms. Kunos releases Assetto Corsa Competizione Early Access PC System Requirements. This is at OC3D.net. I think we've actually covered this before, but just to make sure you guys know, in case In case you've forgotten or I didn't mention it, tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day, the Assetto Corsa Competizione Stage 1. And you'll be able to drive the Lamborghini and get a flavor, a taste, a hint of what Competizione is going to be all about as we wait for that next stages of the rollout over the next 6 months until we have the full-blown version of the game. Anyway, minimum requirements, you're looking at Windows 7, i5 4460 or AMD FX 8020, 4 gigs of RAM, graphics, GTX 460 2GB will get it done, or a Radeon HD 770. Recommended. Still on an i5, you don't need an i7, so they say. 86K, 8600K, or Ryzen 5 26X. In addition to that, 16GB RAM on that card, and they'd like to see you on a, 16GB RAM, and then on the graphics card, you're looking at a GTX 1070 8GB or a Radeon RX 580 8 gigs, running DirectX 11 and 50 gigabytes of available space. So those are the ideal settings or computer specs. I just mentioned this because it says $1 million. $1 million. Rocket League World Championships coming to Las Vegas for $1 million on the line for those guys. Oh, maybe sim racing will get there someday. Maybe we'll get there. True achievements, talking about Train Sim World. West Somerset Railway achievement list revealed. So I didn't even know they did achievements in the train sims. But WSR, tourist attraction, complete 47 passenger booking tasks. Getting him a score 10 points. So you train people. Josh, you here today? What else we got? This was at Race Department. And it's not a car that most Americans are very knowledgeable about. Why no Matra in sim racing? And these guys have a pretty, yeah, it's a French car, Matra. And they have a pretty long history in racing. And, you know, they're a known brand. They're an iconic brand. They're known as one of the beautiful cars of our racing world. And they ask, why is there no Matra? Is it Matra? Why is there no Matra in sim racing? So my question to you guys, is there a Matra mod? Are we missing something? Did Race Department miss something? Is there really a Matra out there we just don't know about? And what sim does it play in? GPVWC Sim Racing talking about Stax Racing, Stax with an X, celebrating their 100th start in the GPVWC. So I just want to give them a little pat on the back. 100 starts for a team is quite an accomplishment. And they did it on a really great day, because on that same day, their driver, Chris Shepard took the lead in the Drivers' Championship after a win and a second place. The round also saw the team's 100th start. So congratulations to Team Stax. What else do we got? We got a few more things to talk about. We got a little more to talk about. Lionheart, next event coming up. This is on the 12th, so this is tomorrow night. HPPsimulations.com, Grand Prix of Belgium, Spa, for people who don't know better. So if you want to watch the next great race out of these guys, some of the best IndyCar racers you're going to find in all of iRacing. And HPP is awarding a set of pedals, by the way, to the champion at the end of the season. $1,490 pedals. So a lot on the line as the season starts coming down to the end for them. Will 1080 ties get below 500? Wouldn't that be cool? Thank you, Grant, for the sippy cup. Haven't spilled a drop since. Full Throttle talking about Forza Motorsport 7 September update, introducing online meetups and experimental drag. And when I say drag in this case, I mean drag racing. We don't mean anything else by it. So there we are. Experimental drag. I thought they already had. Yeah, drag racing has existed in the Forza franchise for years, but it's badly needed a fresh coat of paint for some time. With this month's update, Turn 10 is introducing the first step in its evolution of drag racing in Forza Motorsport 7, and it's called Experimental Drag. That is a terrible name. This mode is currently exclusive to the Dubai quarter-mile track and free play and is designed to give players a fun, authentic, and best of all, streamlined drag racing experience. So that could... Oh, Grant's in the house. Thank you, Grant. Thank you very much. And Max thanks you because he had a biscuit this morning. It kept him entertained and out of my face for a little while. So there you go. That's cool. I would like to see an improvement here. So this might actually be worth trying. I've actually done the drag racing in Forza Motorsport 7, and it was the launch off the line that I found to be like nearly atrocious. Maybe that's something they've resolved and fixed and made it feel more authentic, like you actually use the Christmas tree. I think I have my facts straight there. Someone correct me if I have it wrong, Dave Blair. Full Throttle also talking about Forza Horizon 4's preview coverage, what to expect from the game. That looks like McLaren. Anyway, that looks like McLaren. At first I was like, that's a McLaren. No, that's not a McLaren. Then I saw the lights or the eyes, and yes, it's a McLaren. Michael Thompson with a 355 and a 308. I like the 308. I think the 308's a good-looking car. The 355, there are things about it I like and things about it I am just okay about. Anyway, a lot of information on Forza Horizon 4 and what's coming out of them. Man, that's a great-looking picture right there. That Porsche looks pretty real to me. Some of the other stuff, maybe not so much, but the Porsche and some of those curves are really good. Super Chat's coming. Just waiting on a message out of, I was going to call them eBay, out of YouTube, letting me know that we can turn it on, but it's coming any day. We hit our mark nearly a month ago. I think Billy Strange said it took about a month for them to get back to him on that for monetization, which is how you turn on Super Chat. Anyway, couple cool Forza titles out of Full Throttle. You can check them out over there. The A1 Esports League Season 2 qualifying round 4 results. They have a video, so if you go to the Project Cars site, don't let me forget we're going to mention Project Cars at the end of the show, but you can watch. This is the A1 Esport. This is that Austria. I keep wanting to call them Australia. The Austrian Esport League specific to Project Cars 2. A few of our people have already taken advantage of this. This is one of the talks we've been talking about on Patreon, but Dirt Rally is actually 80% off at Humble. So if you were looking for a cheap way, looking for something to do just for fun, you might want to check out Dirt Rally on Humble. I believe when you get it at Humble, they actually give you a Steam code, so you're just getting the code, but $9.99 for Dirt Rally. So definitely take advantage of that. If you don't own it, Dirt Rally is a really, really, really good game. So, well worth picking up if you haven't already. That looks like Marco Massaruto. That looks like Nils Huskenveld. The 8-shifter development update. So, this is just an update. This is at simracingworld.info. Simracingworld.info. And on that, you will find an update on what's going on with the in-development H-pattern shifter out of Huskenveld, which is going to be great news. They are known for some incredibly good components. So that's going to make a lot of people super duper happy. Haven't updated Dirt Rally since the 22 gigabyte VR patch they put out a while ago. I have to confess, I haven't either. It's on my Steam, but I was looking, it's not even installed, I believe, right now. Don't let him fool you. Simracingworld.info also talking about a release. This is the Paul Ricard track released for Assetto Corsa. And they mentioned that they're also, so this was actually seen, the track's already out for Assetto Corsa, but in the Studio 397 forum, it was seen that they have plans to convert it over to R Factor 2. So if you've driven the Paul Ricard version by the other team on Assetto Corsa, you'll be happy to know you'll be able to drive that same track over on R Factor 2 in just a matter of time. I don't have a date for you in this write-up here at simracingworld.info. Also at simracingworld.info, and this one I almost didn't cover because I'm to the point now where, like, if you can't entertain me with a couple of pictures or a video, then I don't want to talk about it. But Schumi has released Watkins Glen. So this is in the Steam workshop is where you'll find it. So you just log on to Steam and do a search for Watkins Glen for Assetto Corsa, and you'll be able to get Schumi 21's version of Watkins Glen for that, which could be good for people. I haven't tried that variation. I don't know if that's the one we've played with. I don't think that's the one we played with. DrivingItalia.net talking about another sim racing center, this one in Florence. So what we have here is the great success in Tuscany. Driving Simulation Center in Florence. And on Saturday the 8th, the new driving center in Florence, Viale Luigi Gori 30, inaugurated with great success, the public and enthusiasts. So anyway, my point and the reason I tell you guys this is it's always nice to know where a sim center is. If you're ever trying to do a hookup or a meetup with like sim racing friends, that is the perfect place to do it. I know of a sim center. I showed you guys pictures. The CXE Sim Center that's going to be opening up. Base 51, I think they call it. It's going to be opening up shortly, and I think at some point we might have to have a Southern California get-together at that facility. That would be a great place to do a meetup, and they have a bunch of sims. We can all race head-to-head in person. They have food, they have drinks and all that. I see they have food and drinks here as well. So anybody in that area in Florence, you're going to want to check it out. They have a 3DOF giant truck movement system, steel frames, Sparco pretension belts, blah, blah, 50-inch triple screens. The works, you know, a good sim center, worthy of going to. They have some cool images. Oh, they have a little trophy girl. Well, look at the trophy girl. Sorry, am I being wrong? Is that so wrong? Is that so wrong? DrivingItalia.net also talking about a driving simulator center in Bologna. Bologna Simulator Center are partners. So Driving Italia, who made the article, and Driving Simulation Center are partners of the Bologna Motor Show. So the 2018 show should have pretty good representation from these guys, which means that could be a good place to go. You know, usually when you have sim racing stuff at an event, there's usually prizes to be won. You want to know who's a ringer for winning prizes at car shows and things like that? You guys sim race every day. You know the cars, you know the tracks, you know the sims, you know the hardware. Most of those people just know that they showed up to a car show. You are the ringers of winning prizes at public events. I just need you to know that. Don't think that Gregor Hutu's showing up to every single one of them out there. Get out there, post a time, and you just might win. Give you a great example at the Assetto Corsa Competizione booth that Billy Strange was working up on stage. I came in and gave it one run, and while I was waiting to do my one run, I'm talking to the guy in front of me, and he's like, yeah, that's me up there on the board, number 8 or whatever. And I'm like, oh, nicely done. I'm like, is this your second time you're going to try to beat it? He's like, no, it's like my 10th time. I gave it one run, and I was in the top 5. Now, so I'm sure people knocked me out of the top 5. My point being, if I had given it a second run, I'll bet you I could have gotten first or up into the top 3. So, get out there. Go to the Bologna Motor Show. Find out if they're giving away any prizes. I remember way back when I was at a E4all, and Intel had their simulators there. And they were giving away a brand new i7 when they first launched the i7 chipset. And I purposely didn't do it because I'm like, that's not fair. It's not fair for me to go do this. I do this all the time. That was stupid. I should have gone home with a chipset. You guys, go home with a chipset. Driving Italia again. Talking about the Driving Italia AKR Academy. Powered up for the new season. Sign up now. If you're looking for one of those Academy-type championships, is usually when they use the word academy, they're talking a way for you to get better, a way for you to get help from others, perhaps a racing series based on people who are all trying to do the same thing. So if you are in the Europe area, it would probably be a good time zone friendly. You can go to Driving Italia AKR Academy forum. You'll find this at drivingitalia.net, and you can sign up for that as well. Bologna and chips. Bologna and chips. I mentioned this before, and this is a rendering. This is not a real photo. But BMW is going to invest 100 million euros in a driving simulation center in Munich. And anyway, there's another article here at BMW blog talking about what they're going to build and how they're going to build the facility. High dynamic simulator, high fidelity simulator, static simulators, all in one purpose-built building, it looks like. So this could be very, very cool. I'm not sure if this is going to be restricted like BMW owners. Is this like a BMW owners, you know, driving center, or is this going to be open to the whole world? I didn't read, so I don't know. It might state that in the article. Also, what a great way to show off your driving line, but isn't it even more critical that your simulators are perfect? You could actually lose a fan or two if they didn't like sim racing. John Hill's going to Sonoma. Anyone going to be up in the Sonoma area? You can go meet John and his lovely new girlfriend. They're going to both be up there for the final IndyCar race of the season and the final IndyCar race at Sonoma, at least in this generation. They could always go back to Sonoma, but next year it's been replaced by WeatherTech Laguna Raceway. I have such a hard time with renaming of games. Team VVV discussing the NASCAR Heat Champions Road to Miami Esport Tournament. It's getting underway starting yesterday. And between now and November 11th, they're going to do all their qualifiers and things. And again, if you want to get involved in an esport that's going to be pretty rounded out to everybody. I mean, Gregor Hutu can go play NASCAR Heat, but I'm not going to give him an edge over any of you guys when it comes to performing at NASCAR Heat. So it's just a matter of dedicating the time, putting in the work on setups, and let's face it, NASCAR Heat setups are probably going to be a little more simplified than other sims. So you might want to go do it. This could be a good path to the esport world for anybody. What else we got? Euro Truck. They're getting the SCS on the road. Zolder and IAA preparations. So anyway, there you go. That's all I know about it. I'm just telling because I know a lot of the... I know of at least 6 of you who watch regularly. Nobody's chimed in, but I know who you guys are. Watched at least... I know of 6 of you who are big Euro Truck and American Truck simulators. I call this rig the baby chair, the baby seat. It looks like a high chair to me. Looks like they've got a 4th post. This used to always be a 3-post rig motion sim. Looks like they're running 4x4s. Interesting. So what else? What else? Imgur has another race setup of a guy and his quest to build a great rig for himself. I'm not going to use his word, but everybody has a poor man's setup. His previous setup was a couple of chairs with a chair on its side, creating a backing, giving him a decent Formula 1 position. Oh my God, that is a television. When was the last time I saw an actual, like, 32-inch television? Talk about a poor man's setup. Anyway, then he moved into something along this, but he still wasn't happy, so buy some box steel, do some welding, and kind of make your own R-seat, play seat hybrid copy with one of those cheap dune buggy seats to sit in. But by the time the guy is all done, you can see he is gone and really stepped up. That is much more elaborate, much nicer than where this guy started way back when he was on the ground with pillows. Lots of pictures there. You'll find that on Imgur. Looks like he's gone through different seats, adding shakers now, getting the bug, getting serious, and getting a nicer and nicer rig every day. And that's what we all should be doing. You should always be upgrading, always making your rig better. And I don't mean spending money. I mean making it better for you. So, Imgur, you'll find this just posted under the word racing rig if you want to check it out for yourself. And my last story of the day is an article here. iRacing, the game that did microtransactions justice. So it's a really solid article here by Mohammed Unib. And he goes on to talk about iRacing in some plain factual ways that a lot of people don't necessarily take into consideration or talk about. Yes, it's a subscription service, somewhere between $8 and $13 a month, depending on how you buy it. And that gets you 17 cars and 17 tracks. And then from there, if you really want to get racing, you're going to need to buy a bunch of new content. And you're looking at anywhere from $11 to $15 for every piece. That's hardly a micro transaction. That's like a transaction. And then, if you really think about it, you don't own the content that you're buying. When I buy R Factor 2. I get my copy of R Factor 2. I get all my content. It's mine. Gosh, in the old days, you got a disc. It was yours. In the case of iRacing, if they went out of business tomorrow and turned off the servers, there is no single player. So absolutely, you're just getting it. Anyway, they talk about AI not being there. But anyway, it's a really solid article, and I think it's a really well-stated way of looking at iRacing and what you get. You know, and we can knock it. We can talk, iRental. We can make fun of it. We can gripe about the money. And then on the flip side, but why is it worth it? Why is it so good? Why do so many people praise it and keep it in such high standings in their mind? And it's things like the competition system, the ability to multiplayer race the way iRacing has done it. Nobody else is doing it like them. Their safety rating system, the factors that make it feel like you're really racing in a real league, in a real life. It's not pickup racing. It's not find a league and hope everyone sticks around. It's there every day. It's ready to go. iRacing insurance, that would be great. Good motto for life. Always be upgrading. I'm going to make that a t-shirt, copyright SimPit Incorporated. So that is going to do it. The only other thing I do have to talk about today is the truck series. I'm just going to keep reminding you guys. Starts up this Friday. If you're watching and you think that you've signed up, if you think you're in the series, but you didn't get an email from me asking for a truck number or an email from me about the series in the last 3 days, then you are not on the list in my mind. That means you need to email me again. I have gone through every email. I have sent an invite and an email to everyone who has requested to be in the series, which means that if you didn't get some of that from me over the weekend, then I don't have your name somehow. Somehow I missed it or whatever. But please email me, Sean at thesimpit.com, SHAUN at thesimpit.com. Sign up for the truck series. You know, and this is really cool. We are running back to iRacing and what they do different that makes them so awesome. Here at their league session, we have the whole league. The whole thing's already there. It's already set just like a regular series on iRacing. Here's our calendar. On the 14th, the fall series is racing. Rooms open at 5, qualifying at 5:50. Race starts at 6 with a 1-hour cap on the race length. We're going to try to finish on laps for each race, but if any of them go extra long, then we're going to have to go on time. So it'll cap. But we start off at Las Vegas this coming Friday, followed by Sonoma, Charlotte, Talladega, Knoxville, Martinsville, Texas, ISM or Phoenix, Homestead, Mid-Ohio, New Hampshire. I'm going to be there. Billy Strange Racing is going to be there. Richie Hearn, former IndyCar driver, is going to be there. It will be fun. We'll be streaming the races. I'll be streaming the races from my channel on Friday. Theodore, no license requirement. We just need clean drivers, though. We do have a 14 incident limit per event, so we are going to be strictly enforcing rules. We will be accepting protests. We do want clean, but we want it to be fun. Last season we had so much fun. We just want to continue forward with anything that we're moving on to. But when you look at the schedule, it's not an easy one. We picked some doozies. We have a dirt track out there. We have a few road courses, including, when I say Charlotte, we're running the interior oval road course, which is really fun in the Miata and could be a downright nightmare in the truck, but a fun nightmare at that. Anyway, if you didn't see it, Billy Strange Racing did a cool promo video. I'll just fire it up real quick and let it play for a moment. You'll find that at Billy Strange Racing. You'll also find it right here at the Crew channel, but it's a 4-minute promo video telling you everything about the series, everything you need to know, and of course, if you want in,
this is a promo video for the SimPit iRacing Truck Series. This is an 11-race series that takes place over 12 weeks.
Get you on the list and get you an
means there's a
invite
bye week in
into
there.
the league.
It is for the
so
Petit Le Mans, and I just wanted to do this to let everybody know that you should join us on the track. It is a great time, great group of guys, and as
that is going to do it. When I get off the air here in about 15 minutes,
I felt like I should do something to promote this series
going to be back on the air right here on this channel doing another
105%
challenge for F1 2018.
That they are off.
Can't remember the track, and
we
then I
threw
think
in some road races and a dirt race for fun.
Following that,
we really
so
tried to kind of cover the gamut of things to have a great time. You've done a couple things to also help out the new people. So if you're inexperienced, not to worry. You've got a place here to race.
For Tuesday.
Also, if you only have one or two of the tracks, that's okay. We still want you to come out and race. You do not have to participate.
But that will be here at 6 p.m. this evening. So tune in for that. And if you're a part of the patron group, you can get the password from us and join us. And other than that, you will need to ask Devin for permission and a password during the stream. But that'll be here on the crew channel at 6. So lots going on here on the channel. I got things behind the scenes that I need to jump to and go to right now and get them in the works so that I can get back here at 6 and do some racing, which will be a lot of fun. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of the pit crew. This is the Sim Pit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.